Hey guys, this is Justin again, back with another review, and this time we're reviewing San Andreas. Just got out of the theater, and we finally got a chance to see it since it's been out for a couple weeks, and we're doing this review right before we get a chance to go see Jurassic World. Been looking forward to the movie for a while, been hearing a lot of good things about it, and I'm just finally seeing it now, and I'm glad that we're getting good disaster films now, because this kind of disaster film, because I haven't seen any in quite a while that have been any decent. Last one I probably seen that was good was probably Day After Tomorrow, and that was back in like 2004.
Yep, we had two failures. 2012 was a failure, but not as bad as Into the Storm, the most disgrace disaster film I've ever seen. One of the worst ones I've ever seen.
Yes, I remember you telling me a lot about that. You told me how you were looking forward to it, and it was boring because you didn't have the story.
Boring. It felt like I watched an advanced sci-fi disaster film. That's what it felt like. Even you could tell the tornadoes were CGI. That's how bad it was. I was like, this movie got a lot of praise by a lot of people, because I actually went in. I always check fans and see what they say about a film.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said Into the Storm was really good. And for the first time, when I go by fans, most of them, I'm sorry, but you were wrong. That movie was bad. It was not what you said it was. So I don't know what kind of movie you're watching.
I never watched the movie, but I heard
probably got Twister mixed up with Into the Storm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Twister.
Twister was really good.
But anyway, going to this film, I was looking forward to it because I like a lot of disaster films. I love Twister, Volcano, Dante's Peak. I even like Day After.
I noticed the volcano ones do right every time. Every one of them's been good.
Yeah, it's just we don't get a lot of those movies anymore. We always get either hurricanes, earthquakes, or tsunamis and shit. We don't ever get any volcanoes anymore. I'm glad. Hopefully someday they'll do that again.
I got a good, if anybody who makes production movies, and all of the directors, if they ever watch this video, make the next ultimate disaster supposed to end us. Do maybe the volcano that's under Yellowstone. That's supposed to end the United States.
Oh, that
supposedly happened. Another one, do Mount St. Helens, the movie.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Call it St. Helens.
St. Helens.
That'd be another good one. But
yeah. We live in a day nowadays where a lot of movies they do that are disaster films, they're all CGI. We don't get the scale models anymore. It's all just CGI. Which you can basically say that began with Independence Day. Independence Day was the first film to introduce a lot of the CGI to render on a lot of buildings falling down, all that shit. But that movie still had scale models, know. So
that stuff just doesn't exist no more. So,
I know.
You can't. As much as we want it, we live in a world of CGI. Now we have to judge how good can the person do the CGI. Because you could do CGI and you can make it look realistic, but if you ain't got much experience with it, you're gonna make it look like like shit, like you just framed it for $2 on your computer screen and watch it. That's kind of what Into the Storm did.
Yeah. Well, anyway, going to this film, basically the story goes is that you get the San Andreas fault line. California is under this hurricane watch, this earthquake watch, and Paul Giamatti plays a character who's studying all the things that are going on.
He's a seismologist.
Yes, and when the shit gets real, you start to see buildings falling down. You're starting to see a lot of earthquakes, but then it really hits the fan when it goes underwater. Basically, long story short, Dwayne Johnson plays a character who's a helicopter rescuer, and he has to reconcile with his wife, his daughter. They've been estranged, and he wants to make things right with them, and he has to go save them as the shit gets as California is going down.
Yeah.
And if you notice that this a lot of disaster films, they kind of use the same kind of cliches where you build like so many characters up, and then you see them in peril and all that. This one is no different, but at the same time, I can feel like this is probably one of Dwayne Johnson's best movies I've seen.
I think if it wasn't for Dwayne Johnson's performance, it might have it probably would have went down a little bit bad. I think he's really what brought me into the movie.
Yeah,
I'm starting to really like Dwayne Johnson. He's becoming one of my favorite action stars. But anyway, San Andreas is about. Supposedly, we're supposed to be having San Andreas. It's kind of like, I guess, to some Scientologists that it might be a true story that will happen in the future. Hopefully not.
Yeah, because you were telling me that apparently when it does happen, California and Washington, Nevada, and Arizona go down.
That was where I had a little problem with, but I'm not going to let it bother me. According to what I've read, and we all have read in school and stuff, when the San Andreas is supposedly going to hit, it's supposed to take, like, California's supposed to be gone completely.
Yeah.
I mean, there ain't even going to be no landmass left. It's gone. It's under the ocean. And the ocean is supposed to go as far in as almost to Colorado. Like, all that's supposed to be gone. With disaster happening in the East Coast where buildings are falling because they can feel it from there.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't go into detail of that. It kind of just made a disaster film.
Yeah, and it's based on the effects that I've seen, because we saw it in 3D, and the 3D was fine, like it looked pretty good, and the effects surprisingly worked pretty well. You know,
Yes.
you're seeing buildings go down. I couldn't really tell if they were CGI or not. They did look CGI, but they weren't. Like,
but they were done really good.
Yeah, they were rendered properly.
It determines who you have that runs that, who can shoot that, because there's some that can't shoot, and they make movies look horrible. Into the Storm did that, and it looked so bad. But this one did it so good you could almost feel like it's realistic.
Yeah, I mean,
so I like that.
But also, I like too how in this one where you get. I understand that, you know, it's more of a standard thing where characters are in peril, but you don't really feel like. I mean, you do feel a lot of danger, but spoiler alert, but they don't really do much as far as, you know, life-threatening things. Or sorry, not the things. Not many of the main characters die. You know, I think that's the biggest problem that we have with disaster films. Like
you don't get that in almost any disaster film. Almost
pretty much all of them. Most of your main characters always live throughout it, and that's become a cliche over the years. Since like,
I mean, you have that one that dies and they bring you back.
Yeah,
I mean, they do that in almost every film.
But then again, you have some characters in this movie that are just kind of annoying. Like I couldn't stand the boyfriend character, not the husband's. Sorry, the wife's boyfriend's character.
Well, he's supposed to play a dick, but they didn't.
They really. I mean,
he is annoying person.
Like,
he is annoying.
He just seemed like he was just a scared wimp. You know, he was like a weasel.
I can buy that because he's supposed to portray the boyfriend of the wife that divorced Rock, and pretty much his character was meant to just backstab.
Yeah,
that's all he was meant for.
Yeah,
and you see that in you even seen that in Taken.
Yeah,
with the boyfriend's a backstabber. He did some bad shit. So, I mean, I thought the person was annoying, but I get the character, and I don't have no problems with the character.
But I guess another thing.
I guess I thought maybe the British boyfriend and the British people were very. I'm trying to let me find a word for this. They seem out of place for this movie. Not trying to bash and say that we shouldn't have British people in our movie.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that. It's just I felt like they were out of place. Like they didn't feel like they were part of, like they should be in this movie. They didn't.
It was basically this. What I can see what they did was they made the plot go forward because they had to have some kind of something for the daughter to do. That's what I'm thinking for the screenplay. They were going like, okay, let's see what the daughter can do when she's with other people.
But then again,
so, you know.
But then again, I give them credit and thumbs up for doing that because I think I think I can speak for a lot of people that we're tired of seeing heartthrobs being put in movies just because of their looks, and we feel like we're in a state of world that everybody looks good.
Yeah.
And that makes movies feel unrealistic. It makes them look fake. Because you could tell, like, when you get people that look good, you can tell the makeup over them. It's just like, oh my god, man, really? Like, that guy just got out of a fucking tanning salon.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need. I mean, realistic. We don't see that everywhere. We see ordinary people. That's why I want a movie to do is to have a movie full of ordinary people instead of that everybody looking like they're fucking from 2100 with all the nice clothes.
Yeah, and another thing too I like too about this movie the most is like the music's pretty good, but also I like too how when you when it actually does when it goes underwater, you're seeing a lot of really intense parts. Like there's that part with the ship crashes in the city and it's like hanging down. You got another part where the people are on their boats driving toward that wave. That wave looks like something out of Perfect Storm. You know, it's pretty intense.
The only thing, here's another thing I'm not gonna bitch about it really. I'm just gonna bring it up. As they talk about the past biggest earthquakes that ever happened.
Yeah.
They pretty much only go up to an extra more serious than the one happened in Chile.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, like, you know how they say, the biggest one ever recorded is 9.6. The biggest one is 9.7 in this movie. I was expecting they were gonna go to like 10, something that never existed.
Yeah.
You know, making it more like, oh my god, it's never happened before. But the size of the earthquake that happened in the movie actually happened in Chile, so it's happened before. They didn't get too far advanced with it. You know, I was thinking they were going to break the record and go to like 10.0, 11.0,
yeah.
which has never happened. No earthquakes ever happen like that. Realistic, but can happen. When San Andreas happens, they say it's supposed to get up to like 15.0, 20.0. It's never happened.
Shit, man, I couldn't imagine being in that situation. Like, oh shit,
what happened in the movie? That was a 9.7. And that's bad. I mean,
if it was like 15 or 16, man, we wouldn't even be in this place. We'd have to be like, there's no telling, you know.
Well, they say if it happens, we could be right around here. We could see the ocean from where we live.
Man,
I mean,
you're seeing boats drive by your house.
Yeah. But other than that, I still liked it. I thought I liked the story, and I really liked. And this was what really caught me was we kind of got a drama out of Dwayne Johnson.
It's one of his more personal kind of drama performances that he's done, because you know when you have your typical Dwayne Johnson, he's always playing the tough guy, the action star. Yes. This one, it was nice to see him, a nice change for him, because I like when actors that are known for action stars, they branch out in other shit. Like when Arnold did with End of Days and like that new one he recently did, Maggie. I like that they're able to good performances out of that, because there's a part where this movie where Dwayne's crying, and I was like, man, he can really. I mean, he's a really damn good actor.
Yeah,
you know?
I like the. Now here's another issue. What happened to his crew that they pay so much attention to, like 1/4 of the movie, and they just like never existed.
Gone,
They're just gone.
It's almost like they either died or they got out of the city or something, or they had to do other things. Because
we could say they were in Nevada because he was going to go meet up with them. But I felt like what I kind of had a little problem with is they built them up for nothing.
Yeah.
Because they did build them up. It's not like we said, hi, one scene, they were gone. They actually build them up for a little bit.
Yeah, because in the beginning they say that one girl that's on that mountain, and then you're kind of thinking, okay, maybe they're going to help Dwayne Johnson or go to his wife and all that, but no, they're not even back in the movie.
I thought they were going to be part of the movie, like maybe kind of like a Day After Tomorrow, where the husband is traveling with his crew and finding their way to her.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do that with the crew. But, I mean, again, I rarely I'll do this, but I still say it's still a good movie. I'm not going to really make that as a problem.
I would say I really liked the film a lot. Yeah. I didn't love it, but I mean, I will say as far as disaster movies we've had recently, it's one of the better ones they've done, because we have had some pretty bad ones. But
really, the last 10, 12 years have not been any good ones.
No.
I'm sorry.
The last one that I personally liked the most was probably Day After Tomorrow.
Even though 2012, it was fun to see, it was really also, the visuals didn't turn out too well.
No, because you can tell it was obvious CGI.
Yeah, the person who did the CGI from San Andreas did a lot better than 2012. 2012 looked so... What do you call it?
It looked like a cartoon.
Yeah, it was very cartoonish.
Yeah. It's like you're seeing people get slopped, and it's like, am I supposed to take this serious? Because it looks like it's supposed to be for comedy.
And it really didn't have a story.
Yeah.
It really didn't. So,
but,
I mean, it was just like 2012 happened, boom. You know, they didn't build on nobody in that movie.
I never watched. I've only seen parts of it, you know. But anyway, back to San Andreas. Overall, I would say that I would give this movie probably like a 7.5 out of 10. I also did have another issue, though. I didn't really like the fact that we introduced Paul Giamatti's character, but yet his character doesn't really interact with a lot of what's going on. Like with any of the characters, it's like he's in his own movie while other characters in their own movie. So
He's the guy that's pretty much actually supposed to. You feel for a while he's going to be over Dwayne Johnson, kind of in the way of being main star, and you would think that he'd go through a disaster himself.
Yeah.
He literally does not go to the disaster. Where he's at, he is safe. Other than the Hoover Dam part. Other than that, he didn't get close to anything dangerous.
No, I mean...
He just pretty much warned everybody. And he was right... I don't get it. He was right in the middle of all this happening, and nothing really happened to him.
And the only thing we see is, like, where the building he's in collapses, or you feel it shaking and all that, but it's like, you don't really feel any peril with him. It's like, all he's doing is reporting the story. It's almost like he's the unseen narrator. The narrator that's in the film, so to speak. He's just seeing what's going on.
Usually I tear movies apart like this, but this movie just it's catchy. I kind of liked it. I really did like it.
I did like it. Now, there is one issue I have to say, though. The 3D, even though it looked good, there was a lot of problems with that viewer we were seeing with that projector. Because there was a lot of flickering when we were watching it.
I don't think the dude was doing his job right, or he fell asleep up there, because it kind of messed with our glasses and flickered.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me mad because I could tell overall, even having more of a better digital glasses, we probably would have gotten a lot even better out of the visuals.
Yeah, but we had to go to the other theater.
Mine kept fogging too at that too.
I didn't see any fogging, but I seen a lot of flickering there. I was like, what the hell? Why is it all blurry?
Yeah, I kept flickering. I noticed that in the Pixels
The trailer?
Yeah. I was like, I looked at my glasses like, what the hell is wrong with my glasses?
So let's talk about it for a minute. Okay, well, overall, I really liked San Andreas. Thought it was a good movie, and I'm glad I've seen it.
I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. About 3.5 stars out of 5.
I give it probably,
70%.
About 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
And, 70%. But also, the trailers we got a trailer for Pixels 3, which that looks fun.
I'm going to see that because it looks fun.
Yeah, but also you got Gallows, which that comes out on my birthday, so I'll be seeing that. But I'm sure that'll be better than Unfriended. It has to be.
Yeah.
But we also had Jurassic World, which we'll be seeing
next
soon.
Yeah.
We don't know. It'll be soon, but anyway, I hope everyone has a good rest of the week, and we shall see you in our next review, which will be Jurassic World, and we're seeing that in IMAX, 3D.
All right.
See ya.